As the 19th century gave way to the 20th, canine writers began presenting a wealth of information on purebred dogs, more detailed and engaging than ever before. Among the most influential was Count Henry van Bylandt, a Dutch aristocrat and the first chairman of the Netherlands Association of Lovers and Breeders of Purebred Dogs. His Les Races des Chiens of 1894 and the later multilingual Dogs of All Nations, 1904, became monumental references. They contained over 2,300 illustrations and breed standards, offering enthusiasts a panoramic view of the world's dogs. Bylandt's International Edition introduced readers to breeds then little known in the West. The Rampur Hound of India, for instance, was a blend of the Afghan Tazi and the English Greyhound, capable of hunting everything from vermin to bulls. Its mouse-grey, close coat was considered the hallmark of purity. The Podengo, then termed the Portuguese Greyhound, was described as large, rough or smooth-coated, and vigorous, though with a vicious temper. Australia contributed the Kangaroo Hound, a heavier greyhound type, bred for coursing, while the Balearic Hound, now known as the Ibethan Hound, was praised for its working ability, not its looks. Leighton rather dryly remarked that it appeared to him to be masquerading as a greyhound. The Dogs of All Nations also showcased elegant toys like the Italian Greyhound, patronized by royalty such as the Duchess of Aosta. Leighton called it the most refined of all dogs, delicate yet long-lived. A close relative, the Potsdam Greyhound, once beloved by Frederick the Great, lingered into the early 1900s in the homes of English nobility. The Borzoi, or Russian Wolfhound, was another favourite, occupying 21 lavishly illustrated pages in Bylandt's 1904 edition. Major Borman later declared it the most graceful and elegant of all breeds. Bylandt's book paid only passing mention to the Caucasian hounds, saying that the greyhounds of Crimea, Caucasus, Caucasia, Tartary, Kurdistan, and Anatolia had no adopted points, but were rather crossings between the Borzoi and the different Asiatic hounds. The new century also saw wider interest in the Asiatic hounds. Confusingly, names like Saluki, Slugi, Tazi, and Persian Greyhound were used interchangeably for what we now generally recognize as Salukis and Afghan hounds. Florence Amherst's 1907 writings clarified their origins, tracing them from North Africa to the Middle East, and distinguishing varieties by region and use. The Rampur hound reappeared in her notes, as did the Polygar hound of southern India, large, fierce, and nearly hairless. Meanwhile, in Europe, the Deerhound, Irish Wolfhound, Greyhound, and Whippet remained very much cherished. Whippet racing was gaining respectability, even attracting ladies and gentlemen of influence. On the show bench, elegance of outline was prized above all else. The Irish Wolfhound had been restored to prominence by the end of the 19th century, and in 1900 Roger of Kindal, later renamed Brian Boru, became the regimental pet of the Irish Guards. Leighton described the Deerhound as one of the most decorative of dogs, stately and picturesque, whether straining at the leash or bounding over the purple hills. And so the 20th century had dawned, carrying forward familiar hounds while unveiling others that few in the West had ever seen. Thanks to early chroniclers like Bylandt and Leighton, the world inherited not only their words, but an enduring fascination with the grace and purpose of the Sight Hound. Thank you for joining me again, and if you enjoyed this, please subscribe to my channel, The Travelling Dog Lady, on YouTube.